doing. But I heard it's rough if you go out too far, like you can lose a ton of progress. Okay. All right. I had to pause the game for this. There was a story I read because I'm still all right. Let's start off like this. You know how the Starfield map is, right? So I can give you some kind of illustration. So let's look at the Starfield map. Let's say this area between Seoul, Bali, probably from like Seoul to Porima, and Cheyenne to Valley. That's the equivalent of what is called the bubble. That is the settled systems of Elite Dangerous, right? And a lot of that stuff has already been in the 10, 11 years that game has been out. A lot of that stuff has already been discovered, scanned, and all this other stuff like that. You can still make great money doing it, but at the same time, yeah. There are places very far out that no player in the 10 years of that game being around has ever gone to. And you can make a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money with that type of information. Here's the problem. When you crash in that game, or when you die in that game, when you respawn, all of that data that you had is gone with it. I have read multiple stories of people saying they had close to $1 billion in credits just from scanning plants. And they went to a planet with a high gravity because they were just kind of cruising along. They went to a planet with a very high gravity. And they were landing like normal, and their ship basically torpedoed into the ground and exploded. That person said, I turned the game off. When I respawned, I turned the game off. I didn't want to look at Elite Dangerous. I was actually this close from deleting the game. I just had to leave. That's it. I just had to leave. And everybody else was like, I get it. That was like, I was close to about 6,000 light years from 6,000 light years from the bubble. Cat was like, I was out here for a week and a half just scanning. When that crash happened, I wanted to drink. So, yes. 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 You can lose a ton of progress. You can lose a lot of progress. I had about 450 million in scanning, in what is it, scanning details and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of jumping from system to system, minding my business and all this other stuff like that, right? And I get to one planet and I'm getting ready to land. And I get to about 2,000 meters from the ground. And by this point, I am, kind of doing my usual landing routine to where I'm starting to come in at more of a shallow angle and stuff like that. And I normally get to about 400 to 500 meters from the ground before I actually start landing. Right. So I'm at 2K and I'm trying to move my ship and it's not working. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is my ship not moving? And I'm getting closer and closer to the ground. And the only thing I'm thinking of is I have almost 500 million in data sitting in this ship. This can't happen like this. This cannot happen like this. And I get to about 200 meters from the ground and I just accept my fate. I just put my controller down. Like I have unplugged it, plugged it back in, and I've done everything I could to fix this. I just kind of put my controller down and I'm like, this is about 6 hours worth of work. And I'm gonna have to do all of this again. And then I go through the planet. And I remember I was on Discord with one of my buddies. And I'm showing him, it was like, I've gone through the planet. I didn't explode. What the heck is going on? Come to find out, Elite was going on server maintenance. It has been the only time I have ever played video games that I was like, thank you. Thank you.